after going through this class and after studying this book, I will never be the same again. My life is changed. I'm going to work for change for Africa. That really moved me. His interest is to be able to bring up young people to understand who they are, where they are, and what they need to be able to forge beyond where Africa is. So let's talk about Osiris rising. Hello and welcome once again to Dul Johnson's Creative Talks. In this video, I'm going to take you back to Ama, even though we have other book reviews lined up. Because of the huge interest generated by the video, I think there's a need to say a little more about Ama. Remember that these videos this particular brief series are to introduce us to the value of reading, what we can gain by reading and how it can actually change our lives or improve our lives. So that interest in Ama made me to want to discuss one more of his books. Indeed, Ama, once he started dealing with African history in 2000 seasons, he never stopped. There are other of his books that he has treated he treated African history, the value of history, why there's a need for change in Africa through educational or intellectual revolution, not necessarily the kind of violent revolution that people always think about. We've seen that in The Healers, we've seen that in Why Are We So Blessed, and in Osiris Rising, which is the book I want to discuss because of a particular interest I have in it. And that is because it seems to me to be the compendium of what Ama has been trying to tell us in his books, the kind of message that he wants Africans to get through reading his works. And by the way, Ama is one man that uses imagery a lot in his books. In fact, he's the master of imagery. So if you want, as a writer, you want to learn to walk through images to engage your readers, you are hereby advised to read almost all of Ama's works if you can get them. And of course you can get them if you look hard enough, if you try hard enough. So I would like you to do that. Hello viewer. A couple of times on my video, I have mentioned my forthcoming textbook on creative writing. The book is now available and you can order if you are in Nigeria or somewhere around Nigeria. You can order by calling any of the numbers below. And if you're outside Nigeria, you can get it on Amazon through the links. Thank you. So let's talk about Osiris Rising. It is a novel set in an African country that has no name. But there are two main characters in the novel that are going to be my focus, because it's going to be a long haul if I want to discuss everything in the book. So I'm just going to concentrate on the aspect that I want you to get, and which connects us to the problems that Africans have been experiencing since the contact with the colonial East and colonial West. And so that we will be able to get out of that situation with time if we follow Ama's teachings. Now, so this is what Osiris Rising is about. By the way, Osiris is an Egyptian god. Osiris is a god that dies and rises again. So, he will die, come back, whatever. Now, so that is the title of the book, and that is connected with the hero of the book, the main character, the protagonist in the book, whose name is Asa. There are two major characters to deal with, or main characters to deal with. Asa is the protagonist, but there is a second main character that is called Ast. Ast is the girlfriend to Asa. Both of them had met in the United States of America when they were students. So, Asa is the one that you will see at the end of the day that is connected with this God. Now, where the story is set, as I said, is an unnamed country. But the problems that the country is going through are the same with the problems we see in other African countries. And the reason why those problems are being experienced. Of course, we know it: corruption, decay, lack of commitment, lack of focus, and so on and so forth. And then the dependency on others to do your work for you, like think for you, build for you, develop for you, and so on and so forth, that kind of thing. What the leaders in the countries do is to just collect the stipends or the droppings from the table of the master that controls from far away. It's the same thing that is happening in this country. Now, Asa graduates from America, comes back. Now, most of us, we would come back and want to have the best of jobs, the plume jobs, the highly paid jobs, and so on and so forth, right? Asa does not think about that. He goes to the rural area to teach in a school. And his interest is to be able to bring up young people to understand who they are, where they are, and what they need to be able to forge beyond where Africa is. And for that reason, as Amma would say in his books, you need to know your yesterday to be able to plan for tomorrow. So without you knowing your history, there's no way you can progress, right? Think about our Nigeria. There was a time, and I think, I'm not very sure that we have returned fully to teaching history. But of course, everybody realized it was the greatest of mistakes to take away history from the curriculum of schools. Everybody needs to know their history. This is why Amma spent time, even though in fictional form, but everything he has reproduced in the book in 2000 Seasons. It's a reflection of our history. That is why we say literature reflects society. And if you go to his other book, The Healers, you see the same thing. Go to Why Are We So Blessed, you see the same thing. And indeed, in Osiris, it is the same thing. So Asa is working at the grassroots, at the school, at the grassroots, helping to bring up young revolutionaries. He is a revolutionary, but as I said, an intellectual revolutionary. You cannot, even if you want to change society through violent revolution, you can't do it alone, let alone to have a proper revolution that will, slowly change the system for the better. So this is why he thinks that the best place to start is the low level, where you can teach children to understand themselves, understand their history, and grow in it to be able to change society. Asa as a revolutionary, is also working underground, of course, to change the system, right? This is why he needs the children, where as they grow up, they can join in the force. So, still, I'm saying, it's not a violent revolution he's advocating. But even if that's what he's advocating, of course, there's nothing wrong with it as long as it is properly done. But that's not what is in the book. Anyway, so he sends a pamphlet to his girlfriend in the US, and just before she returns. So she comes back carrying that pamphlet innocently, and at the airport, of course, you know, the system in all corrupt societies, that is the kind of thing you see, right? They want to make sure that there is a surveillance system that does not allow a single person with good intentions who want to change the system. That's not what they are for. So they want to make sure that the security apparatus is top-notch. Big Brother is watching you. If you have read 1988, George Orwell's 1984, that's another book I would recommend for you to read. Really, 1984, George Orwell. Big Brother is watching you. That is exactly what is happening in that country where Osiris Rising is set. So, Ast, that is Osiris' girlfriend, comes in with that pamphlet, and they see it. The security apparatus sees it. And of course, the girl is promptly arrested and kept in a hotel, and make it difficult for her to see Asar. But of course, eventually, they do meet, nonetheless. So, the system now has a reason to go after Asar. And they begin to hunt him. So we are coming now to Asar as an undying force. The revolutionary, the representation of an undying revolution. They are looking for Asar, and they want to catch him, to kill him, whatever. And Asar is about to escape on a boat. And what happens? The system, of course, guns him down into whatever system that was used to attack him, blasts him, and he is broken into splinters. That is what, if you read the book, that is what the picture you will get and what the words will tell you. The man is scattered, goes into splinters. So, now, the imagery there is very powerful. First of all, that the human being goes into splinters tells you that this person is beyond more than the normal human being, right? Because this splinter is going in different directions, various directions. So it is like sowing a seed, right? Broadcasting the seed of a tree you want to blossom in different places. That's exactly what has happened, right? But that's just part of it. The other part is that you think you have killed Asar. But unfortunately for them, at that moment, Ast, the girlfriend, is carrying the life seed of Asar. So in a short while, the new Asar is going to be born by Ast, and the revolution will continue. It is indeed a very, very powerful book. I have just summarized to you, what happens in that book, but you really need to read it for yourself. Now, here is the catch. Here is what interests me in the book and why I have brought it in addition to 2000 Seasons. I used the book to teach a class, Literature and Society, And I did that for 3 years, taking my students through the book to see how literature can help shape society, can help change society, can help revolutionize minds that can, bring about better changes for society. And in one of the years, I of course, I always give the students essays, assignment to do, continuous assignment. And one of the students, after finishing the assignment, jumped 1 or 2 lines and wrote a personal comment in which she said, after going through this class and after studying this book, I will never be the same again. And when I finished marking and I returned, I asked her what she meant. And she said to me, my life is changed. I'm going to work for change for Africa. Now, this is the cap. 2 years after this young lady sends me a request for references. And where does she want to go? And what does she want to study? Development studies, social change, and on the African continent. That really, really moved me. It touched my heart. And I think that if you have the opportunity, and I charge you, look for Osiris Rising and read. Look for the others of Ama's books, Aikwe Ama's books, and read. You will be a changed person. Thank you. And please don't forget to like this video. And if you have any questions, put them down in the box. I will address your issues. Thank you.